What is up, crazy fam? Guys, listen up. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at my Titan Void PvE build. In my humble opinion, one of the best PvE builds in the game, and this is gonna be one of my main options for the day one raid. But not only that, if you enjoy running through legendary lost sectors, playing Nightfalls, just to get that beautiful loot, we're talking exotics, shards, all the good stuff, right? This build is gonna be for you. Now, let's not waste more time and get right into it. The exotic that we're gonna be using is the Heart of Inmost Light, and even though it's been nerfed, it's still really good, and we're gonna build on this exotic. Let's take a look at our aspects and our fragments. The first one is gonna be Controlled Demolition. Hitting a target with a void ability or volatile explosion makes them volatile. Further damage to a volatile target causes them to explode. Grants you and nearby allies health when volatile targets explode near you. So not only are you healing yourself, but you're pretty much being a support for your team, which is phenomenal in endgame content. The second one that we're gonna be running is the Offensive Bulwark. While you have an overshield or are inside Word of Dawn, your grenade charges significantly faster. You have increased melee range and damage, and melee final blows extend the duration of your overshield. You gain an additional shield throw while in Sentinel Shield. Now, we're not going to be using Sentinel Shield. Obviously, we're going to be running Bubble, but overall, the overshield buffing your grenades is a very important detail. And once we take a look at our weapons, you will understand why. But first, let's take a look at the fragments. Now, for the first one, we have Echo of Cessation. I'm probably destroying that name, but it is what it is. Finisher final blows create a burst of void damage that causes nearby combatants to become volatile, and defeating volatile targets creates a void breach, and picking up the breach will give you back your class ability faster. There is some other ones that you can use, but I'm going to start off with this one, see how it goes, and if needed, I will change it up. But I will say that I'm in love with this one, and it feels really strong. Now, the second one is Echo of Expulsion. Void ability final blows cause targets to explode. And since we're going to be throwing our grenade a lot, there's going to be a lot of explosions. That's why this is so good for ad clear in general. The next one is going to be Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. This is a really important one. And finally, Echo of Undermining. Your void grenades weaken targets. Now, for the barricade, we're going to be using the smaller barricade. We're going to be using the strafe lift. We're going to be using shield throw, and obviously the vortex grenade, because it just pulls a lot of enemies in. At the same time, we're weakening those enemies. When it comes to the artifact for this build, Volatile Flow is what you want to focus on 100%. Picking up an Orb of Power grants your void weapons volatile rounds. Trust me, guys, this is incredible. You're gonna have your volatile rounds up at all times, and it just makes everything perfect. Because remember, with this build, it's all about those volatile explosions. You are healing non-stop, and you're also healing your teammates. Now, for me, since I'm using the Crown Splitter, I'm gonna be using this mod right here. It makes it even better, even stronger. It's good against overload champions. Also, keep in mind, these two mods right here make it much easier to use your void ability mods. Before we take a look at the armor mods, let's take a look at the weapons, and I want to start with Unforgiven and explain why this SMG ties in so well with this build. We have Well-Rounded and Repulsor. Defeating a void debuffed target grants an overshield. Since we're throwing the grenades, we have volatile, we have weaken, we're getting those kills, and we are getting the overshield. Now, don't forget, guys, this is when Offensive Bulwark kicks in. Our grenades are going to charge faster, or should I say significantly faster, when we have our overshields. And thanks to Repulsor Brace, that's going to happen a lot. And on top of that, we have Well-Rounded. Throwing a grenade, which, by the way, that's what we're going to be doing 24/7, or hitting a target with a charged melee grants a stacking bonus to weapon stability, handling, and range. But if you do have another weapon with Repulsor Brace that you like more than a submachine gun, run that. In the kinetic, we're going to use Witherhoard, one of the best weapons in the game. Amazing for ad control, amazing for boss DPS. Overall, a great choice. Now, why am I using Crown Splitter? The reason is simple. It can do tons of damage, and with this build, it is insane. Now, let me explain why I think it's so crazy. Since we have our grenade that weakens, and it also turns the target volatile, what I usually do is throw my nade on the boss or on the champion, whatever it is. Since Crown Splitter is void and your target is going to be volatile and weaken, you're going to be doing more damage, and because of the volatile explosions, you're going to be healing with every hit. But let's say there's a boss that you want to DPS from afar. We always have the Reed's Regret adapt. But let's say we need some kind of different setup for boss DPS. I'm going to swap around Wither Horde for Burden of Guilt right here with Chill Clip. And we all know Chill Clip this season is S tier, man. It's simply an incredible perk. And then if I do that, it opens up amazing exotic choices in the heavy slot, such as Anarchy, such as Winter Bite, Two-Tailed Fox, Xenophage, a lot of great options there. So as you guys can see, this overall build is very flexible, and that's one of the things that I truly love about it. Now let's move on to the final part. That's going to be the mods. Let's start with the class item. Obviously, we're going to be running Font of Restoration here. You gain a bonus to recovery. While you have any armor charge, your armor charge now decays over time. As you guys can see, we're at tier 5 recovery, but thanks to Font of Restoration, the recovery is just going to feel so much better. Then we have this mod to increase the timer of our armor charges, which is amazing. You should always be running at least one of these. And then we also are going to be running Bombard. On the boots, we're going to have Kinetic Weapon Surge and 2 of Void Weapon Surges. On the chest, I'm going to be running Charged Up. And then these are going to depend on the encounters. We can swap these around at any times. On the gloves, we're going to be using double Void Loaders. And on top of that, Bolstering Detonation. And finally, on the helmet, double Void Siphons in combination with Heavy Ammo Finder. So guys, overall, this build has amazing survivability, crazy damage potential. It's very, very flexible because you can move around a lot of parts and you still get the best out of this build. And not only is this going to be amazing for the day 1 raid, but in general, for any kind of end game content, this is easily S tier. Anyway, that is it for this one. If you guys did enjoy the video, and only if you did, slap the like button, subscribe to the channel. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, never forget to share that positive energy all around. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I mean, we literally have the best community of all time. Oh! Oh, he got no scoped!